Hi friends, and welcome back to Raft. Today we're gonna do something a little bit different. As you can see, we've got our own little tier list set up. And rather than doing this online like you find on those websites, we're gonna do it in Raft, because it pertains to Raft. That was a lot of times to say Raft in one sentence, but let's keep going. So, if you've played more Raft, you know that there are a lot of items in this handy dandy decorations tab. These are all added in the renovation update, and they're designed to help you spruce up your raft and add in some more life to your world. So we're gonna rank all of them today. You're gonna get to know all of my opinions, the ones I like, the ones I don't like, and just general other opinions as they come out. So without further ado, let's get started. So we're going to be dividing these into a few tiers. Obviously we've got the S tier, or the top tier. We've got the A tier, which are things that I still think are great. B tier, which are C is situational, so only use them in certain contexts. And D, the things that I just don't like. Again, this is all a matter of a personal opinion. This absolutely does not matter in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, starting off we've got the painting materials. Technically these aren't things you place down to decorate your raft, but the idea of painting your raft in general is still really important, so we're gonna keep it. And frankly, this is S tier. Painting is so incredibly useful, and it just makes a world of difference. Even just making this tiny little tier list thing. So easy, because we have our own little ability to paint in-game. That's definitely S tier, you will not question that. Moving on, we've got a few different kinds of seating. This chair, the generic chair, bad. Bad, look at it. It doesn't even look like it would support you if you sat on it. Magically it does, but I don't like it. Now we've got the kind of modern S chairs, and I think these are pretty decent. You know, they're pretty standard. I actually don't like the stool as much, so we'll put that one down there. And this one is just flat out weird. It's like a short stool. I don't know why you need two different heights, but in case you did, we'll put those in situational, because I really think they're only good if you're building a bar. Other than that, this chair is a lot better. However, the more comfy chairs, great. I love them. This more office chair-y thing, or the kind of chair your professor sits in when you get in trouble in their office, great. Love seat, great. Freaking love it. This one I think is a bit more weird, because you have to kind of put it in very certain areas. You can't really angle it around like you can these guys. So we'll put this one in B. It's still a good item, it's just, it's a little more limited. And then we've got tables. This one, I don't like. It's ugly, you can't paint it. Yeah. However, the other tables really pick up some of the slack. This table is a little too big for my liking, so we'll put it in the B tier. But the round table, good. So many uses. Even if you just want to, make a shrine to all of the items you fished out of the ocean or anything, round tables, so much better than square tables. So much in this game is so blocky that adding a bit of soft edge never hurt anybody. The coffee tables, also, kind of interesting. I actually really don't like this table as a table, but it works really well as a shelf. So I'm kind of torn on this one. I think we're going to put it in C tier, because it's kind of torn in between the D tier and the B tier. It's kind of hovering in between the two. So we'll put it in the middle. The tall one I just flat out don't like. I can't find any use for this thing that looks good, so there it goes. Again, round table, amazing. We love round tables. This one I'm going to put in S tier, because I use this in pretty much every raft I've ever built. Has got one of these small round tables in it. The stone tables I actually kinda don't like. You can't paint them, they don't go in as many decoration styles as the other things, because there aren't a lot of stone items, so they don't mix as well. And I'm even going to put a round table down in the situational use. Wow. Shelving. These ones are just kind of interesting. This one goes down here because of the same thing. It's ugly, I don't like it. However, the other shelves, this one I almost never use as a box shelf, because I think there are better options to achieve this kind of thing. But I actually use this, as an actual shelf on a wall fairly regularly, if you want to put up some books on a wall or whatnot, this is great. So let's put this in the A tier, because I think it's a pretty conventional, but still really useful item. The bigger shelves, again, this one is ugly. I bet you can tell by now that I really don't like this kind of hobbled together style. I'm sure some of you can make it work, but I'm not among you, so deal with it. And this one, this is the one I was talking about when I was talking about using this box. The only problem with this is it's a bit big, and you really need a lot of space if you want to use this one. So personally we're going to lower it down to the B tier, because it's not quite as good if it were a little more compact. I think it would fit in more things. But still, very useful. And I like that it has little divided sections for like plants and books and like actual storage items down here, that kind of stuff, you know? And then cupboards. These are also technically storage, so they're a bit more useful right off the bat, but they're still extremely variable. I really like the tiny one, because I can put it pretty much anywhere, and it works really well for pretty much everything you want to build. Same vein for this one, although it's a tiny bit larger, and so I run into the same problem as I did with this shelf that we talked about earlier. It's just a little bit too big sometimes. And I just like this one, because I like the little drawers. I think they're cuter than the knobs on this. And frankly, this cupboard, not a fan. It's so long, and even though it has the cute little drawers, it's like, when do you want a cupboard this short? Who wants to be bending over all the time for all of their items? And it doesn't actually store that much for taking up that much space. Like, I'm pretty sure this stores just as much, and it takes up like a third of the space. So, no. On to lanterns. Generic lantern, you know, it's useful. You're gonna use it because it's cheap, but, you know, it's kind of whatever. It's just kind of middle ground. However, the metal lanterns, this guy's pretty. You know, even if it's more expensive, and it's a little more, like, pricey and everything, and it's a little more bougie, just look at it. It looks so much better than this. So much better. I love it. Actually, you know what? We're moving the lantern up to S tier. Good job, lantern. Welcome to Lantern Gang. Fire basket? Yeah, I really like the fire baskets. I think they add a great vibe, especially when you're building outdoor areas, or if you've watched my unconventional raft building hacks video. You know, you can actually make pillars on them. Don't know why you would, but you can. And I like that for them. And the fireplace? This is definitely S tier. You know, in combination with these sofas and everything, fireplace makes a great living room. It just works out so well, you know? It feels homey. It feels like a vibe. And I love that. Trophy boards? Kinda eh, you know? We can't actually place these down without a wall, but they're actually kinda ugly, so let's go ahead and make a random wall over here. They're like rough. There's no way to make them a little more refined, because you know we have all of these nice, like stronger textures. These always look kinda bad. And also, there's only a few things you could put on them, which I really don't like. Trophy boards? D tier. Not good. We can't fit them in the D tier because they go on walls, but just imagine them here, okay? Paintings. I love this one. I think it's cute. Looks like concept art. These might be spoilers for Chapter 3. Hint hint. We might be getting these characters as playable characters. Bruce or Jeremiah. You know, I never liked the painting of sharks in bad light, so I kinda don't like this actually. And finally, you know, just a vibe. So if I'm gonna rank the painting specifically, S tier, A tier, D tier, B tier. There you go. That's the fast zoom speed painting ranking. Motivational quotes? I love putting these everywhere, frankly. Also because these are so much better when you paint them, so that you can actually see what they say. Because frankly, they're kind of hard to read in just the base. That's so much easier. So definitely with paint, a lot better. The motivational quotes are all great. I also love the seize the day one. That's great. I love the seize the day. It's a terrible pun, but I like the ocean, so we're here. Signs? Fantastic. We love signs. You can label things. I use them all the time, as you've probably noticed. I use them right here. S tier. Fantastic. Love them. Calendar. It's kind of situational, honestly. This is another thing that can only be put on walls. You only put one of them on your entire raft, and that's the entire purpose it serves, you know? Moving right along, we've got the flowers. I actually really love all of the plants in here. I think all of the plants are honestly S tier. With the exception of maybe the cactus, because I don't like cactuses, but that's nothing against the plant model, that's just that I don't like cactuses. Because, like, honestly, rafts can feel so dead, especially if you get into those mega raft territory. Getting plants on there, you know, we're gonna lower the cactus down just one tier, because I don't like cactuses. But other than that, it's like color in a neat little bundle, you know, it just feels more alive. In that same vein, we're actually gonna skip ahead a little bit and grab all of the plants from Tangaroa, because these are also all great. Even though they technically have a different plant style and everything, this is the hanging plant. I love the hanging plant. Let's build a ceiling really fast to show off the hanging plant, because I think that's by far and large my favorite decoration item in the whole game. Look at it. Maybe it's because I had a spider plant growing up that I named Natasha after the Black Widow, but it's great. It's great. All the plants, S tier. We have the books. These, like I said, especially in combination with these shelves, add so much life. You know, just do a little bit of this, you're already halfway to a great office. Just add in a little table and everything, especially if it's a round table, you're good to go. And in the same vein, we've got like the open book. This one, you know, also. Actually, you know what, we're going to lower this one because it is a bit more situational. It's not situational enough to put it in C tier, because, you know, just add it to your coffee table. But, you know, I don't really like all the drawings. And the mess of papers. I think these are actually a lot more situational than anything else, because they're frankly only good in an office context. The books you can put anywhere and be like, yeah, look at me, I read a lot. But the paper is just kind of like, it's just a mess, you know? It only works well if you're building that office of like, this is where I work kind of vibe. Anyways, lights. These actually really annoy me because the candles provide minimal light. However, the actual string lights provide no light. I don't know if you guys knew that, but they don't actually give off light, which really, really annoys me. They look fantastic, right? But they don't give off light, and they're actually kind of pricey. Like, that's a lot of plastic, and by the end of the game, sure, you don't need it that much, whatever. But still, you're spending all of that things on a string light, which you think would provide light, and it doesn't. That's such a letdown. We've got the cutlery and the mug up next. I'm gonna put these in situational, because again, you're not really gonna put them anywhere other than a kitchen. Like, you might have a random mug on your desk otherwise, but like, the cutlery, let's face it, you're not putting it everywhere, you're not putting it in every room. So, those are situational at best. Rugs, however, the big rug, you've seen me use it a lot, can go under every object, paint it in different styles. Fantastic. I love the rugs. Even this one, you can make some fun little walkways out of, you know? So again, all of these, S tier. I love customization. Flags. Frankly, if I'm being completely honest, I never use flags, so I don't really think I can rank these accurately. But you know, having one flag, again, I would think it's situational. You're not gonna find them everywhere. Quill, situational. You put it in one room, and you call it a day. Rolled globe, same thing, situational. It's a great clutter item, but also, you're only gonna put it in your office. You know, you're not gonna slap it everywhere. Clock, this one I don't like. This one, however, I do like. I think this one's really cute. I think this one's ugly. And curtains. I actually kind of don't like the curtains. They feel really stagnant. You know, they don't feel as alive as I would necessarily like them to. So, we're gonna put them pretty much in C tier, because again, you're not gonna put them on every window, you know? They're just kind of vibing most of the time. Outhouse. Also C tier. I don't really love the design on the outhouse, so I know that it's nice to have a bathroom, since usually you don't. But also, let's be honest, it's the ocean. It's full of fish poop anyways. Who's gonna notice? The bathtub, however, that's an S tier item. If you haven't seen my first playthrough of Raft, the bathtub played a huge role in it. Bathtubs are amazing. I don't know why you would need a bathtub, but I like it. So, S tier. Firewood rack. This also goes in situational, because frankly, unless you're putting it next to your fireplace, which you're probably not doing next to every fireplace, you're not gonna use it. It's just kind of a weird item. So, yeah. And we've got some bonus items from Tangaroa. The only one that I'm really gonna note here is the grand piano, because frankly, this is an A tier item. It would be S tier except for it's too clunky and it's too hard to play. So here is our ranking of all of the decoration items in Raft. Granted, there are a few more, like we mentioned from the Tangaroa stuff and whatnot, but I'll leave you to find the secret items for yourself, but I don't want to spoil them in this video. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if there's anything you disagree with violently, or if there's anything that you thought I should have placed anywhere else. I'm really keen to know your opinions and get your knowledge of Raft compared to mine. But don't come at my plants. I love them. Don't hurt them. So, without further ado, I think that's where we're going to call it. I hope you enjoyed. Please consider leaving a like if you did, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. And as always, have a great day.